Hey, Los Angeles Lakers fans! We're back with an exclusive video for you. First, log in to subscribe to the latest channel updates and like the video. This is essential so that you are informed daily, without any further fuss. Let's get straight to the news. On February 9th, the terms of the trade deadline are being set by the Los Angeles Lakers. The team is expected to make moves on the NBA market, while rumors circulate about possible trades. One name that has emerged as a focal point of the team's plans was revealed by NBA insider Anthony Irwin of Clutch Points. According to him, the Lakers are targeting an old acquaintance, Myles Turner, from the Indiana Pacers. The 6 feet 11 inches center is currently in the final year of his $4.9 million contract, with free agency looming this summer. The Pacers may have a strong incentive to trade him now rather than risk losing him without compensation. This isn't the first time the Lakers have been linked to Turner, but this time, their interest appears more serious. Sources familiar with the situation say the team has had extensive internal discussions about the possibility of acquiring him. Los Angeles is even rumored to be considering offering its 2 available first-round picks in exchange for Turner. However, will that be a sufficient offer? In a surprising turn of events, the Lakers reportedly gave up on their previous targets, which included Jonas Valanciunas of the New Orleans Pelicans and Nikola Vucevic of the Chicago Bulls. The high asking prices for those players reportedly prompted the team to redirect their efforts to Turner. Does this change in strategy indicate that the Lakers are more determined than ever to sign him, or are they simply exploring possibilities? Turner's performance this season has certainly reignited the team's interest. In 42 starts, the center is averaging 15.4 points, 6.8 rebounds, 1.5 assists and 2.0 blocks per game, shooting 47.9% from the field and 39.3% from three-point range. His ability to space the floor and protect the rim makes him a potential game-changer for the Lakers. But what would this deal mean for the future of the franchise? Would it take the team to a new level, or would it be an unnecessary risk? It's clear the Lakers see something special in Turner, but they'll have to make a tough decision before the deadline. On the other hand, the Pacers are in a delicate position. Do they trade Turner now for a valuable return or risk losing him for free in the offseason? With multiple teams eyeing the center, including the Lakers, the pressure on Indiana to make a decision is only increasing. The race for Myles Turner promises to be one of the most interesting events of this trade period. Will he finally land in Los Angeles, or will the Lakers' plans be thwarted? Only time will tell. Before we continue, we ask that you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any exclusive updates about the Lakers. Bruce Brown Jr. EOS Lakers. Meanwhile, Bruce Brown Jr. recently revealed that he would never play for the Los Angeles Lakers. The statement, made during a candid conversation, sparked intense speculation among fans and the sports media. Why such strong words? Brown, known for his key role in the Denver Nuggets' 2023 title win, made waves with his statement. His comments sparked debate in the basketball community, especially among Lakers fans, who have already considered him a potential addition to the team. Brown has built a reputation as a versatile player with a strong defensive presence. His surprise move from the Indiana Pacers to the Toronto Raptors in early 2024 had already drawn attention, but his public refusal to play for the Lakers has intensified rumors of a possible rivalry or behind-the-scenes issues. Speculation has mounted. Are the Lakers, known for their all-star culture, a bad fit for Brown's hardworking, defensive-minded style? Or does he not want to deal with the pressure of wearing a Lakers jersey? Some suggest that Brown prefers to play in more collective systems, as he demonstrated in previous stints with the Detroit Pistons, Brooklyn Nets, and Denver Nuggets. Despite this, Brown's talent continues to be widely recognized. Former NBA player and current coach J.J. Redick has expressed his admiration for him, even recommending him as a key player to strengthen the Lakers. According to Redick, Brown has defensive skills and a basketball IQ that would fit perfectly on the team. What does Brown's refusal to play for the Lakers really mean? Regardless of his decision, Brown remains a sought-after player in the NBA. His versatility and impact on the court make him a valuable asset to any franchise. Whether he ever changes his mind about playing in Los Angeles remains to be seen. For now, the trade market remains busy, and the Lakers continue to search for reinforcements that can help them fight for the title. What about you, fan? Do you think Myles Turner would be the ideal player for the Lakers? Would Bruce Brown Jr. be missed on the team? Leave your opinion in the comments and stay tuned for more updates. As the trade deadline approaches, the Lakers management faces a crucial dilemma. Invest heavily in Turner, betting that his presence will be the difference maker for the final stretch of the season, or maintain flexibility for future opportunities in the market. The decision is not simple, as it involves not only technical issues, but also financial and strategic issues for the future of the franchise. Internally, there is debate about Turner's impact on the team's game plan. His defensive ability and three-point shooting would be a great addition, but there are concerns about how he would fit alongside Anthony Davis. While the two could share the paint, Davis's injury history means the team needs to consider whether Turner would be an ideal addition or if his arrival could lead to adjustments that would affect the team's performance. Another factor that may influence the Lakers' decision is the competition. If the Pacers are willing to trade Turner, it is likely that other NBA teams will also make offers. The Dallas Mavericks and Golden State Warriors, for example, are teams that could enter the fray, looking to bolster their rosters for the playoffs. This means that the Lakers will need to act quickly and offer a competitive package without overly compromising their future. Meanwhile, LeBron James and Anthony Davis remain central to the title race. The window to win another championship is still open, but not indefinitely. LeBron, despite his impressive performance, is at a point in his career where every season counts. He has shown his impatience with slow rebuilds and wants a roster that is ready to compete immediately. The pressure on the Lakers front office is not just coming from within, but also from the fans and the media. Fans are demanding that the team be aggressive in the trade market, especially after a patchy start to the season. With their Western rivals gaining momentum, any hesitation could prove costly in the fight for the playoffs and, by extension, the championship. If the Lakers do decide to move forward with the Turner deal, it will be interesting to see how it affects the rest of the roster. Players like D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, and Rui Hachimura could all be involved in potential moves, depending on what the Pacers demand in return. The front office needs to balance the need to improve the roster without dismantling the chemistry that already exists. Plus, there's always the possibility of a surprise move. The Lakers' history shows that the team likes to keep its options open until the last minute, exploring different scenarios before making a final decision. So Turner could be just one piece in a larger plan that involves multiple trades and roster adjustments. Regardless of the outcome, the next few weeks will be decisive for the Lakers' immediate future. The trade deadline could determine whether the team becomes a true title contender or enters the playoffs with holes in its roster. The front office is aware that every move now could impact not only the current season, but also the franchise's future years. It remains to be seen whether the Lakers will make the bold bet many expect or opt for a more conservative approach. Whatever the decision, one thing is certain: the NBA's eyes will be on Los Angeles in the coming weeks, awaiting the purple and gold franchise's next big move. As discussions continue behind the scenes, the Lakers are expected to not only assess the immediate impact of a potential Turner trade, but also the long-term implications. Maintaining off-season flexibility is a crucial factor, especially with cap space being a constant concern for the team. Should the Lakers acquire Turner now, a contract extension may be necessary, which would limit their ability to pursue other signings in the summer. Another issue under consideration is how this move will impact the locker room. Mid-season roster changes could affect team chemistry, something Darvin Ham and his coaching staff will need to manage carefully. The addition of a new center would require adjustments to the rotation, potentially reducing minutes for players like Jared Vanderbilt and Christian Wood. How would this affect the group dynamic? Meanwhile, the Lakers are keeping an eye on other potential targets on the market. If the Turner deal doesn't go through, the team could shift its focus to alternative options. Detroit Pistons' Bojan Bogdanovic has been mentioned frequently as a potential addition to the team's spacing. In addition to him, Alec Burks and Dorian Finney-Smith appear as viable targets, depending on market conditions and the asking price of their respective teams. Behind the scenes, LeBron James and Anthony Davis have a say in the franchise's decisions. While the front office has the final say, the influence of these two stars is undeniable. Both know that any change now could be decisive for the fate of the season. LeBron, in particular, has a history of pressuring teams he plays for to make moves that will increase their chances of winning a title. His silence on the situation could be interpreted as a sign that he expects something significant to happen before the trade deadline. As the days go by and the pressure mounts, the Lakers board is aware that every decision will be scrutinized. A smart move could turn the team into a real title threat, while a mistake could jeopardize the season and raise even more questions about the franchise's planning. The next few days promise to be intense, with rumors, negotiations, and possible twists and turns that could define the immediate future of the Lakers. In addition to the uncertainty surrounding Turner, there is growing concern about the consistency of the current roster. While the Lakers have shown flashes of a competitive team, their lack of consistency has been a problem. Fluctuations in performance, especially against direct Western Conference opponents, raise questions about the team's ability to sustain a solid playoff run. This only reinforces the need for strategic adjustments ahead of the trade deadline. Another variable that could influence the franchise's decisions is Anthony Davis's physical condition. Although he is playing at a high level, his history of injuries always raises some concerns. If the Lakers bring in Turner, it would be a way to ease the defensive burden on Davis, allowing him to play more as a power forward and preserve himself for the decisive moments of the season. This possible change in role could be a difference-maker in the fight for the title. Behind the scenes, there are rumors that other players on the roster may be involved in negotiations, regardless of Turner's situation. D'Angelo Russell, for example, has been mentioned as a tradable piece, especially if the Lakers can find a point guard who fits better alongside LeBron and Davis. Names like Malcolm Brogdon, from the Portland Trail Blazers, and Tyus Jones, from the Washington Wizards, emerge as viable alternatives if the franchise seeks to strengthen the point guard. In addition to trades, the franchise is also keeping an eye on the buyout market. After the trade deadline, it is common for veteran players to be released by their teams and become available to sign with contenders. The Lakers have a history of attracting experienced names during this period, and this time will be no different. Depending on who becomes available, the board can opt for specific reinforcements without having to give up assets in a trade. With all of these factors in play, the next week will be crucial in determining the Lakers' path forward. The team has a talented core, but it still needs some fine-tuning to compete with the Western powers. The front office is aware of this and is working behind the scenes to find the best solution. The outcome of this trade window could very well determine whether the Lakers will fight for the title or just try to survive in an extremely competitive conference. In addition to the uncertainty surrounding Turner, there is growing concern about the consistency of the current roster. While the Lakers have shown flashes of a competitive team, their lack of consistency has been a problem. Fluctuations in performance, especially against direct Western Conference opponents, raise questions about the team's ability to sustain a solid playoff run. This only reinforces the need for strategic adjustments ahead of the trade deadline. Another variable that could influence the franchise's decisions is Anthony Davis's physical condition. Although he is playing at a high level, his history of injuries always raises some concerns.
10 points
if the Lakers bring in Turner, it would be a way to ease the defensive burden on Davis, allowing him to play more as a power forward and preserve himself for the decisive moments of the season. This possible change in role could be a difference-maker in the fight for the title. Behind the scenes, there are rumors that other players on the roster may be involved in negotiations, regardless of Turner's situation. D'Angelo Russell, for example, has been mentioned as a tradable piece, especially if the Lakers can find a point guard who fits better alongside LeBron and Davis. Names like Malcolm Brogdon, from the Portland Trail Blazers, and Tyus Jones, from the Washington Wizards, emerge as viable alternatives if the franchise seeks to strengthen the point guard. In addition to trades, the franchise is also keeping an eye on the buyout market. After the trade deadline, it is common for veteran players to be released by their teams and become available to sign with contenders. The Lakers have a history of attracting experienced names during this period, and this time will be no different. Depending on who becomes available, the board can opt for specific reinforcements without having to give up assets in a trade. With all of these factors in play, the next week will be crucial in determining the Lakers' path forward. The team has a talented core, but it still needs some fine-tuning to compete with the Western powers. The front office is aware of this and is working behind the scenes to find the best solution. The outcome of this trade window could very well determine whether the Lakers will fight for the title or just try to survive in an extremely competitive conference. As the front office weighs its options, external pressure is also mounting. Fans and analysts alike are waiting for a clear answer about the direction the Lakers intend to take. Fans, accustomed to the franchise's winning tradition, are demanding immediate competitiveness. While the sports media continues to speculate about what the next steps will be, every statement from executives, players, and even NBA insiders is scrutinized, fueling the debate even more. Inside the locker room, uncertainty about potential changes also affects players. Those whose names frequently appear in trade rumors, such as D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura, need to stay focused and continue contributing, even without guarantees that they will remain with the team until the end of the season. This situation is not uncommon in the NBA, but it can impact the performance of athletes who, psychologically, already see themselves as bargaining chips. Coach Darvin Ham, meanwhile, continues to try to get the most out of his current squad. Despite criticism of his rotation and lack of adjustments at certain times, he understands that any significant change to the team will require an adjustment period. If a change does happen, he will need to quickly find the best way to integrate new players into the tactical scheme, minimizing any negative impact on team chemistry. Behind the scenes, sources close to the team indicate that the Lakers are not just looking to bolster their roster for immediate needs, but rather to build a solid foundation for the years to come. This explains the hesitation to give up multiple first-round picks in trades. The balance between being competitive in the present and maintaining flexibility for the future has been a constant dilemma for the front office. As the trade deadline approaches, all of these variables come down to one decision: whether to make bold moves or trust that the current roster can find its A game in the final stretch of the season. The Lakers' fate could be decided in a matter of days, and any choices made now will have consequences that extend far beyond this year. With each passing day, tensions are mounting behind the scenes. Lakers executives are in constant contact with other franchises, exploring different scenarios and evaluating trade possibilities that could strengthen the team without overly compromising its future assets. Meanwhile, players and coaching staff try to stay focused on the court, aware that any change could significantly alter the team's dynamics. The uncertainty isn't limited to the trade market. There are also concerns about the durability of the roster throughout the season. LeBron James, despite continuing to perform at an exceptional level, is approaching 40 years of age and needs to manage his minutes wisely. Anthony Davis, although dominant when healthy, has a history of injuries that makes each game a mix of excitement and apprehension. If the front office decides not to make any major moves, the burden on these two players could become a concern in the final stretch of the season. Meanwhile, competition in the West continues to grow stronger. Teams like Denver and Phoenix continue to sharpen their rotations, and even emerging teams like Oklahoma City are showing potential to challenge the favorites. This reality reinforces the urgency for the Lakers to find internal or external solutions to increase their level of competitiveness. Even if the team shows flashes of brilliance in some games, the inconsistency throughout the season raises questions about its ability to compete in a playoff series against better structured opponents. In addition to potential trades, the franchise is also closely monitoring players who may become available on the waiver market. Depending on how other teams adjust their rosters after the trade deadline, there may be an opportunity to add experienced veterans without having to give up important assets. This type of move could be an alternative path if the Lakers choose to preserve their future draft picks and avoid drastic changes to the roster structure. As the deadline draws ever closer, the pressure to make a decision is mounting. Any wrong choice could cost them dearly, whether it's wasting valuable assets or failing to strengthen the team when it's needed most. In the coming days, the Lakers front office will have to define its course with surgical precision, as the fate of the season, and possibly the future of the franchise, could depend on these choices. While speculation and negotiations are rife behind the scenes, the Lakers continue their quest for consistency on the court. The upcoming games will be crucial not only to consolidate the team's position in the standings, but also to provide the board with a definitive answer on whether or not immediate adjustments are necessary. If the team shows signs of improvement, the tendency may be to take a more conservative approach, betting on the chemistry of the current roster. On the other hand, inconsistent performance may reinforce the need for urgent changes. The relationship between players is also a determining factor in this process. LeBron James and Anthony Davis continue to be the pillars of the team, but communication between them and the other members of the squad needs to be aligned. Players like Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell, who have already performed at a high level, need to maintain consistency to relieve pressure on the team's stars. In addition, the development of young talents can directly influence the board's decisions, since the presence of promising players can reduce the need for aggressive moves in the market. Behind the scenes, there is a growing perception that any move will have implications beyond this season. With LeBron's advanced age and the need to build a competitive team around Davis, each move needs to be considered with a long-term view. The risk of compromising the future for a temporary solution is a real concern, which is why the board carefully analyzes each scenario before making any final decisions. Another factor that can impact the team's moves is its relationship with other franchises. The Lakers are one of the most media-savvy teams in the NBA, and this can influence the market value of their players and targets. Rivals may demand higher prices in negotiations, aware of the franchise's urgency to remain competitive. This type of dynamic makes any negotiation even more complex, requiring patience and strategy on the part of the board. With the trade deadline fast approaching, the Lakers are facing a critical moment. The choice between keeping their current core or looking for reinforcements could determine not only their success this season, but also the direction of the franchise for years to come. Upcoming games, behind-the-scenes conversations, and even developments in negotiations with other teams will all factor into the final decision. Now, all that remains is to wait and see which path the Lakers choose and how it will impact their quest for yet another championship in franchise history. The final stretch of the trade period is a real test of the Lakers' management's patience and strategy. Talks are ongoing, and the front office is keeping multiple scenarios open, waiting for the market to develop more favorably before making a final decision. Meanwhile, agents and player representatives are also stepping in, trying to influence the course of negotiations and secure the best terms for their clients. Inside the locker room, tension is inevitable. Players who are being traded have to deal with the uncertainty, trying to balance their focus on the games with the possibility of having to change teams from one day to the next. At the same time, those who have their spots guaranteed in the squad are closely monitoring developments, aware that any changes could directly impact their roles within the team. LeBron James, who has been through countless turnovers in his career, maintains a public stance of commitment to the current group, but his track record suggests he is always looking for ways to strengthen the team. His influence behind the scenes, even if not explicitly stated, is a factor that the board takes into account. After all, keeping LeBron happy and motivated is also a priority, especially considering the increasingly short window he has to win another title. While decisions are being put off until the last possible moment, the schedule continues to demand the best from the team. Each win or loss can change the board's perception of the real potential of this group. If the Lakers can put together a winning streak, the pressure for trades may ease. However, if the problems persist, the urgency for change will become undeniable. With so many variables at stake, the next week will be a defining moment for the course of the season. The balance between patience and aggressiveness in the market could determine whether the Lakers enter the playoffs as legitimate title contenders or simply as a team struggling to survive. The coming days will reveal whether the board has found the ideal piece to take the team to the next level or whether it will focus on internal growth within the roster. Whatever the decision, its impact will be felt not only this season, but for years to come. As the trade deadline approaches, every move on and off the court becomes even more significant. The tension isn't just in the front office, but also among the players themselves, who know that every game and every performance could influence the front office's decision. The pressure is immense for the Lakers to show that they can still be a competitive team without major outside additions. But the reality is that the team needs more consistency to reach the level of the best in the West. If the Lakers continue to struggle to maintain a steady rhythm, it will become increasingly difficult to justify not making a significant trade. Concerns over the health of LeBron James and Anthony Davis remain a constant point of concern. They are cornerstones, but both are nearing a point where, without proper support, the franchise may not be able to sustain a deep playoff run. So as the front office prepares for potential trades, the urgency to secure complementary pieces that can ease the burden on the stars grows. Furthermore, the pressure from the media market and fans cannot be ignored. The Lakers fan base, known for its passion and demand, expects a quick and effective response. After the 2023 loss, which sparked a wave of criticism of the management, any failure in the current season could be seen as a continuation of the franchise's stagnation. The management knows that expectations are high, and the consequences of a season below expectations could have long-term repercussions, both in terms of popularity and business. Looking ahead, the Lakers' asset management is also under intense scrutiny. Any move involving draft picks or young talent like Max Christie will be carefully considered. The team knows that while an immediate trade may seem like a surefire way to win a title now, jeopardizing the future of the franchise could be a risky decision in the long run. The approach needs to be balanced. If it's not a move that offers a realistic chance of winning a title in the coming years, it's better to wait. In the days ahead, the Lakers will need to focus on one thing: identifying a clear direction. Whether building on what they already have or through a strategic addition, any move needs to be made with a vision focused on the future. Decision-making must reflect not only the intention of winning an immediate title, but also the construction of a solid foundation to maintain long-term competitiveness. The complexity of the Lakers' decisions is also reflected in the different approaches the front office could take to bolster the roster. While the immediate focus is on trades, the possibility of seeking players through the veterans market or even engaging in negotiations with teams in difficult situations cannot be ruled out. Such a move could have a significant impact without requiring major sacrifices in terms of assets, something the Lakers may be looking for if they decide to keep their draft picks intact. However, the balance between looking for reinforcements and not overburdening the team with unreasonable expectations remains a fine line. Roster integrity and locker room chemistry are key to long-term success. The Lakers know this, which is why trade talks involve not only players' skills, but also how their fit with the group could impact the team's dynamic. It's vital to ensure that any new player not only has the talent but also the right mindset to compete at the highest level, especially on a team as big as the Lakers. The team's response to this growing pressure will be seen in the coming games. If the Lakers continue to struggle with inconsistency, more pressure will be put on management to make decisive moves before the trade window closes. Additionally, the performance of younger players like Reeves, Hachimura, and Bryant will play a significant role in the final decisions. If they can step up to the plate and step up, perhaps management will decide to give the group more time to develop and hold off on making any drastic moves. But if the need for change is clear, changes may come sooner than expected. The point is that, whatever the choice, the Lakers need to act quickly so as not to miss the opportunity to strengthen the roster in time to compete for a competitive title. In this scenario, the trade window is not just about finding available players, but also about ensuring that the moves made are precise enough to elevate the team to the level needed to compete with the best in the West. The fate of the Lakers season is closely tied to these upcoming decisions, which will surely shape the team's narrative not just this year, but for years to come.